Okay, well, I guess we can get started then. It's 4 past the hour. So thanks for joining us for today's community sync. We have an exciting demo from Jake from Cyberx coming up. But first we'll go over some community highlights, our community roadmap, and then we'll hand it over to Jake. So community highlights. So just a reminder, we'll be joining the MLOps meetup on April 20th. We'll be doing a deep dive going over Flyte and also presenting the hackathon winners. Really excited to see all the projects that folks have been working on. And if you're interested in learning more, you can check out the MLOps conference talks playlist, and the Flyte recording should be uploaded there as well too. The MLOps folks also have a Slack community. You're welcome to join. And yeah, hope to see you there. We'll also be, Flyte will be at PyCon in Salt Lake City at the end of this month. If you're there, come by and say hi. We'll have a booth set up at the expo hall. We'll also be participating in the job fair, and we're really excited to hopefully demo Flyte and see anyone who's there. Next, office hours schedule remains unchanged. If you have any questions about maintaining Flyte, getting your Flyte deployment up and running, feedback, complaints, comments, suggestions, please come hang out at office hours. Hate them at 7 a.m. and Kathan at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. Our upcoming OSS sync in 2 weeks, we'll have Nelson and Babas from Spotify talking and expanding on that blog post you might have seen that they published recently talking about the Flyte deployment at Spotify, just how they run Flyte there. And we'll also be announcing the engineering labs hackathon winners. So I think the hackathon's been a while running now, so it'll be exciting to see all those projects come in. I'm excited to see who ends up winning as well too. And as always, feel free to add the open source sync up to your calendar. Our YouTube channel will publish all of these talks after the sync ups, and our Flyte newsletter will, you can subscribe for more updates on all the latest and greatest in Flyte. And finally, our roadmap. So what's coming up? So as we talked about before, Flyte 1.0 release is imminent, calling this Phoenix. And some of the new and latest greatest features that will be in part of this release will have an updated fast register experience, which should improve the UX, make it a lot simpler to run through fast register, and easier to use as well too. We have a lot of UI updates in the pipeline as well, which includes a revamped project page, which will be a kind of project dashboard, include all of your settings, recent overview, project level executions, number of workflows, tasks, everything you want to know about your project. Also updated rendering for dynamic workflow graphs, so you can fully expand those and poke around with the rendered dynamic workflow itself. And timeline views also been released. This includes Gantt charts that kind of show the duration of your individual tasks throughout the entire timeline of your workflow, get a better sense of what tasks are running when during workflow execution. 1.0 release will also include FlyteKit Remote going GA. It's been in like alpha beta for a while now. The experience has been totally revamped. It should be super simple to use as well too. And then also FlyteKit configs are now shared with FlyteCTL. So that should simplify all of your kind of like remote registration, anything you do where you need to talk to Flyte. That config experience has been completely updated and simplified as well. And then in FlyteKit, Flyte decks have emerged. Flyte decks are kind of an improved input, output rendering, gives you kind of like graphical like visualization of your inputs and outputs. And those will be renderable in Jupyter notebooks coming up too, which should hopefully give you kind of like more interactive experience with your individual task input and outputs. Also working on upstreaming the Airflow Flyte operator, which will be a great tool to kind of if you're migrating from Airflow to Flyte, or if you want to integrate with existing Airflow deployments, that should simplify that process. And we're also updating the entire kind of getting started process for onboarding onto Flyte in general. So this includes FlyteKit script mode, which lets you, package all of your dependencies without building a new container, upload and register all in one command, without having to kind of like multiple settings. This should be super simple to use. As well as single binary, which basically runs the entire Flyte backend deployment in as a single binary, so that you can simplify, like all the work around standing up Kubernetes instances and deploying individual services onto it, this should just make getting started super smooth and a lot faster as well too. And then finally in the back end, we also have improved map task experience, which includes all sorts of goodies like per individual map task retry support and caching, as well as improved concurrency controls. Great, and then now onto the demos. So hand it off to Jake. We'll talk about MLOps with Flyte at Starbucks.